Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Penalty Box podcast. I am so excited to have you here today. We have a lot to talk about, and today's going to be a little bit different. Normally, we have our hot topic segment, and then we have an educational segment, but today we're kind of merging the two because I did do an educational episode about this in the past. I might have archived it, but you're going to get a little refresher, and it also happens to be a hot topic this week. So we have a lot to talk about, and I hope you are ready.
Welcome to the Penalty Box.
Alright, so as y'all know, we start off with a little intro/update section, and I want to update you guys on my recovery. It's been going good. I officially have started working out every day, going for walks, which is amazing because I could not even walk at first. We also hit 14.5K on Instagram, which is sorry, I just had to double check because I was like, wait, we were just at 10K. We hit 14.5. That's crazy. So that's an amazing update. Otherwise, not much has been going on. Obviously, being bedridden only consists of a couple things, and I've been working on the penalty box and working with my amazing team, and also, my dog is here. Hi, you have something to say? Thank you, Macy Grace. Thank you very much. You have something else? Oh, thank you. Something about me is that even if it is the most professional podcast, which it's not, but even if I had one, I would let my dogs take over whenever they wanted. Those dogs, you know that trend where it's like, you let your dog on your furniture, and then the person's like, yeah, I'd let my dog give me open heart surgery. That's me. Right, Mace? Yeah. Is you me? Yeah, mamas. Okay. Sorry, guys. You just saw a vulnerable side. Anyway, that's all I have for my little intro section, but now we have a playoff team update, and I'm going to be reading the teams that, Maisie, why are you staring at me like that? That are going to be making it to the 2024 playoffs, which is soon, actually. So far, we have the New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers, Dallas Stars, Vancouver Canucks, Colorado Avalanche, Toronto Maple Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning, Winnipeg Jets, and Edmonton Oilers. And if you noticed, the New Jersey Devils were not there, which is so heartbreaking and so sad. I honestly kind of expected it, and I think everybody in the state of New Jersey, or everybody who's a fan, expected it. We kind of saw it coming, but it doesn't make it any less painful. Alright, that is our intro and our playoff update. Now, let's get into the hockey hot topics. Our first hot topic is that Austin Matthews is breaking records, and right now he passed Alexander Ovechkin for the most goals in a season by any active NHL player, which is crazy. And he scored in the third period the other day against the Devils, which we will be circling back to. But during that game, he got his April total to 5 goals in 4 games. I feel like, along with a lot of people, I would love to see a 70-goal career season, but it's still so cool that we get to watch this talent right in front of our eyes. I mean, people are going to be talking about this in the future, talking about Austin Matthews, back in the day, and we got to witness it, which is so cool. And speaking of Austin Matthews, there actually has been a lot of talking about the MVP award, which goes to the most valuable player, obviously. And one of the nominees is Austin himself. He was one of the top contenders that people wanted at one point. But I did actually refresh the feed right before I filmed this, and now people are actually favoriting Sidney Crosby, which is kind of crazy because I thought, considering him breaking all these records, he would just be in the public eye. I mean, he has been in the public eye. He was at the All-Star game. I don't know. I thought he would have definitely been up there, but I also do totally get Sidney Crosby being up there. I mean, it's Sidney Crosby. And that actually brings us to our next speaking point, which is the MVP debate. The debate over who is going to get the MVP award this year, and there are a couple of options. We have Sidney Crosby, Austin Matthews, Nikita Kucherov, Nathan MacKinnon, and Connor McDavid. Right now, at the moment I'm recording this, the lead choice that the league wants to pick seems to be Nikita Kucherov. I think that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if it's not. But the fan favorite seems to be Nathan MacKinnon. So note that in your head. McKinnon has 133 points, and he's right behind Kucherov for the league lead. And he is one of the only top guys listed that has not won a Hart Trophy, which is the MVP trophy. And then Nikita, on the other hand, he has 51 more points than Braden Point, who has the second highest point total for the Lightning, which is crazy. In my opinion, personally, this is hard. I think Nathan MacKinnon kind of deserves it. I think he's really, obviously Connor McDavid is amazing and phenomenal, but also I feel like he's literally winning everything right now. Like, any award, it's just kind of like, oh, it goes to Connor McDavid. Just kind of like Jack Hughes, I don't know. So I kind of want to go with Nathan MacKinnon. I do feel like that's a good choice. My second choice would probably be Sidney Crosby, because I just think they seem like very sweet people. But also that's like the emotional part of me deciding that, and not the like statistical part of me. So take that however you want. But speaking of Jack Hughes, oh my god, I'm really good at like going from topic to topic. But speaking of Jack Hughes, I told you guys earlier we were going to circle back, and this isn't good news. Well, first of all, okay, everyone's out for the season, the Devils. Obviously, we didn't make it to the playoffs. That's sad. But Jack Hughes is out for the rest of the season due to a shoulder injury, and not only that, but he will be getting surgery, which is just rough. And he is expected to make a full recovery in time for training camp for next season, which, thank God, because, listen, I love my team. I do love the Devils. I think they're talented, but I also do think they are young, and we need our core players, and Jack Hughes happens to be one of them. So I'm very glad that he will be back. But let me tell you this. This is crazy to me. Apparently online, there's actually debates about Jack being soft. I don't get it. Like, maybe I'm just being stupid, but I just think he's so smart. I think this is the best time for him to get shoulder surgery, because we're out. We didn't make it to the playoffs, and he will have all this time to recover, all this time to train, and it's always better to stop and rest and heal than to keep pushing until you break at some point, because it will happen. You cannot just keep pushing and pushing and pushing your body. It's going to break. And like, clearly he's been hurting this season because he was switched from center to wing back in February. And if you did not know, our head coach, Lindy Ruff, he got fired. So our new coach for right now, Travis Green, he said he didn't want to go into too much detail, but he did say they thought it would be best to keep him on the wing because it takes a lot of defensive responsibilities off his back, which I, once again, completely agree with. I love the Devils. I really do. If you're listening to this, anybody there, I do love you, but I think a lot of pressure is being put on certain people, like all the eggs in one basket type thing. It reminds me of Dance Moms. I listen to Dance Moms when I work. I don't know if I told you guys this before, but I do. And it reminds me of Dance Moms, how Abby Lee would put all her... I keep blowing out the mic when I say peas. I'm sorry, guys. But how Abby Lee would put all her eggs in one basket with Maddie, and then if Maddie was hurt or lost, what would she do then? And I feel like the Devils did that a lot with Jack Hughes. But now I think they're definitely starting to utilize other players and starting to give them the credit they deserve, like Alexander Holtz and Timo Meier. And I know that is a tangent, and I know that is not what we're talking about, but I don't know. My take on this is I cannot see the other side. I don't really understand how there is a side. Like, why do you care when someone's getting surgery or not? Like, it's not like it's gonna affect the team's outcome for the Stanley Cup or anything, because we're not even in the running. So I don't get why anybody is upset. I get why we're upset, because we feel bad, we're sad, we want him to make a speedy recovery, but I don't get why people are actually upset at him. That's really fucking ridiculous to me. All right. Now, we are going to go into our combined hot topic and educational segment right now. And if you could not tell by the title of this episode, we are going to be talking about Kyle Beach. And I actually archived a bunch of episodes a little bit back because I was telling you guys, like, it didn't feel like me. I was reading a script. I didn't want to mess up. I was so nervous. And I had so many episodes. I didn't want people to just, think, oh, let me give this girl a chance. And then they listen to those and they're like, oh, she's boring. So, anyway, one that had a lot of listens was actually the one about Kyle Beach and his situation with the Blackhawks. And I was going to actually re-record that episode and have it updated and put it out there because I do think it's an important topic to talk about. But then this came up and I realized I could turn it into a hot topic but also a educational piece because this is an educational, important, historical moment, I guess. I don't know. You'll see. But if you did not know, Kyle Beach, he was a Blackhawks player, and he was picked 11th overall, I believe, back in 2008. And he came forward, and he said that he was SA'd by a video coach named Brad Aldrich back in 2010. And that would make him 20 years old. So he was just a little bit younger than me. I just turned 21. All of this is alleged just in case I'm messing anything up, but it is reported that he officially did come forward and everyone ignored it. So Beach went to go talk to his skills coach named Paul Vincent, and Paul actually did try to help him. He went and he told people, and he was trying to get Kyle help, and literally no one listened, which is so heartbreaking and scary, and it's not even alleged anymore. I just don't want to get sued or anything, but we know this is real because there's an investigation done, and it stated that Chicago's NHL team failed to act on his allegations. So they knew. And Kyle, he tried to live his life and focus on hockey, and he really grinded, he really worked hard, and I can't imagine how hard that would be. And one day, he actually found out that Aldrich had gone to prison for 9 months for SAing a 16-year-old in Michigan. And Beach said that actually gave him the courage to come forward, which thank God he did, because I can't imagine how many people he helped. Because other people, I believe, actually did come forward and were like, I had something that happened with the team or something like that. And I just think it's so important to talk about, especially in such a male-dominated industry when sometimes men aren't as open to that kind of discussion. But hang in with me, okay? I know you're confused and you're probably like, how is this a hot topic if this happened years and years ago? But I'm trying to give Kyle Beach the respect he deserves and share his story since I have this platform. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Anyway, since this all happened, Chicago's general manager, Stan Bowman? I don't really care because I think he's a loser. Sorry, I'm going to get so canceled one day for these. But Stan and former Chicago coach Joel Quenneville, I believe that's how you say his name, he was most recently the coach of the Florida Panthers, but he also stepped down. So now we can talk about why this is being brought up right now at this very moment. That was a long recap to get here, but it's important to talk about. So we just talked about Joel. Joel was the head coach of the Blackhawks at the time, and then he moved to the Panthers, and now he resigned. Got it? Okay, cool. So Joel, he decides to speak out for the first time in 2 years since he resigned. And he goes on this podcast, and I am going to quote exactly what he said. Quote, "I'm not blaming anybody. I blame myself for some things I could have and should have done differently. I didn't put it all together that it resembled sexual abuse or sexual assault by not asking more questions, and I take ownership on that. I think that had I known more, I think I would have handled it completely different." So he initially denied knowing anything about Kyle Beach, but as the investigation proved, we know that he definitely knew. And the former GM, Stan, that we talked about, he actually came out and said that Joel said, and I quote, All right, so this is what Joel's former GM came out to say. He said that Joel, quote, shook his head and said that it was hard for the team to get where they are and that they could not deal with the allegations now, end quote. Which is so gross because that is your first thought. Like, I am so sorry. Your first thought is not, oh my God, this is going on. I'm working with a creep. These kids, these young people are under my supervision, and these are supposed to be like my boys, my team, and they can't even come to me, or they did come to me and I didn't do any. Like, oh my God, I'm already spiraling, and I literally was like 3. I'm kidding. Clearly I was not 3. But anyway, Joel says that he's talked to Kyle since then, and he doesn't want to share their conversations, which is totally fine. I get it. I really hope that at least Kyle has closure. He has an explanation. He has some peace somehow, some way. But now, get this. Joel was asked if he thinks it's fair that he's not coaching. He said it depends. And he thinks he deserves a chance to coach again. Sir, depends on what? What do you mean it depends, Joel? I'm so confused. I'm sorry, if you couldn't tell, well, actually, I think I've been handling it pretty good. It's a personal topic. It's a topic I feel very strongly about. Anyway, nobody asked. Well, I guess you guys did because you come from my hockey hot topics, but I guess this isn't a hot topic. It is. It's both. Anyway, my stance is, yeah, okay, Joel didn't do any of the actual abuse per se, but is it not an abuse of some kind to know about a young person that's going through this and, like, not helping? Does that make sense? Like, I feel like that is some kind of abuse of something. There's just something not right there, and I personally feel like it's so shady, and I don't like it, and I feel like all the men that were involved, as, like, higher-ups, the people that had positions of power that didn't do anything, they all rub me the wrong way, and I just feel so icky about it, I guess. I know that's, like, not a great word to describe it, but it genuinely just grosses me out, and I feel like more people need to talk about this. Whenever I bring up Kyle Beach, like, I had friends that would talk about the Blackhawks, and I was like, do you even know, like, the organization, there is a whole iceberg, but the organization is just known for things like that, allegedly, and it's just not a good reputation to have if you're going to worry about your reputation. Oh my God, I can't speak. If you're going to worry about your reputation rather than a player's safety, then you should be worried, because that's a horrible reputation to have, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, guys. I've been bedridden for a month. I barely get to talk to people face to face. So when I'm talking, sometimes my thoughts don't really flow right. Also, I haven't drank my coffee yet. Do you want to hear it? And what's crazy, hold on, sorry, I blew out your ear. What's crazy is that up until like a week ago, I hated coffee. And I would not drink it. And then I was so tired, and I was like, I need to crank this workout. And so I was like, I'm going to try a coffee. And I got a coffee from Dunkin'. I'll tell you what I got. I got a small original iced latte. It has 2 French vanilla swirl pumps, 2 vanilla shots, sugar, milk. And yeah, it's really good. It's really sweet. It's really delicious. That was a total side track onto my coffee discussion. But I wanted to let you guys know that I don't even know what the point of that was. I am so sorry. Let's go back to what we were talking about. My apologies. So this is off topic, but it's also on topic because it is about the Blackhawks, but it's not about Kyle Beach. It's just about why the Blackhawks are just probably one of the shadiest teams, in my opinion. Oh my God, I can't speak. Besides the Rangers. And you guys know how I feel about the Rangers now. And the sad thing, okay, honestly, is that the Blackhawks team itself, like the players, actually seem like such cool guys. Like, they seem very funny. They have a lot of personality. It just really sucks that they're on this team. Anyway, so the name and the logo itself is a red flag. And I'm not trying to be one of those extra woke people that tries to find, like, a problem in everything. Because I really was that person 2 years ago back. Oh my God, it wasn't 2 years ago. 2020 was 4 years ago. Holy shit. But anyway, I was that person. But now I'm a little different, but I do still agree it's a little much. but their name and logo is like a tribal mascot and name. It refers to Native Americans or First Nations, and they didn't get permission from local indigenous communities, which is why it's so controversial, which honestly, why would you want to rep a team that doesn't want you to rep them? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I made myself like a Tate McRae jersey and I went out and I was like, my team is Team Tate, and she was like, no, don't do that, I would not be like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. No, I would say, yes ma'am, I will stop. So I don't know, I don't really get how they like that, if that makes sense. Like, I would not feel good wearing that logo on my chest, but I mean, I guess I would because I'd be in the NHL. But anyway, I personally just think it's sad because there have been activists and people that don't feel comfortable with that, and it would just make me really upset. Like, if I was in that situation and a team was using my name and my image and not doing anything about it, like, obviously I don't know everything about the Chicago Blackhawks, but I feel like they should at least be like donating to some like fund or something if you're going to be using the Blackhawks, like something that's personal to them, if that makes sense. Like, when for us at the penalty box, we were using a snow leopard as our mascot and we're donating sometimes 100%, but most times a solid chunk of our funds to the Snow Leopard Trust, because we want to help animals that have to do with ice. We want to help the ice. We just want to save the ice in general. We want to we want to save animals. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to be like, we're perfect, and you're not, but like, come on, be a little nicer. I don't know. Anyway, they were named in honor of the U.S. 86th Infantry Division, but it was named, or nicknamed, I guess, the Black Hawk Division, which was after a Black Hawk who was a Native American chief. Does that make sense? So the Black Hawk was based off of a chief. And in the first logo, by the way, in 1926, he was white. I don't know if he was in real life or if he wasn't, but in my notes, all I could find was people were saying, like, in the painting, he was white. So, I don't know. But there was a whole war, there was a lot of stuff, and I feel like if you're going to wear something, you should wear it with pride and share the story, and I feel like they're not really doing a good job. And I know that's Blackhawks slander, and I know I have amazing people on my team that do like the Blackhawks. I just don't. And I respect you, I guess, but I also feel like if you're going to be a fan of something, you should learn about them and research them. Like, I feel like if somebody's walking around here saying, like, I love James Charles, I love Colleen Ballinger, I'm trying to think of, like, canceled people, but if they said that, people would cancel them and be like, why do you like canceled people? You're a freak. And they could genuinely not know, but that's what I don't get. So I don't really get how people can go around being like, the Blackhawks are my team, I love the Blackhawks, and then not know this, like, big, huge part of their history. And I'm not just talking about the name and logo controversy, I'm mainly talking about Kyle Beach, because that's a big deal. It's a big deal to come forward, especially in a sport, especially in hockey. Like, that is brave for him to do, and it's a rough thing to go through. I cannot even imagine having somebody in a position of power doing that. That's just, it's horrible. It's really, really, really sad. And he deserves justice, he deserves happiness, and he deserves peace. And I hope that he wins whatever court battle or whatever he's going through right now. But I'm really glad that I got to share his story with you guys, because I genuinely do think it is so important to talk about these things. Hockey is an amazing sport, but there's also bad with the good. You cannot always have sunshine and rainbows, even though I wish we could, but we can't. Next week, when we will be speaking next, it will be playoff season officially. Are we excited? How are we feeling? Are we okay? All right. I hope we're good. I'm finding teams to bandwagon off of right now. I'm going to be going with the Canucks, most likely. Well, obviously the Bruins, but also the Canucks. Like, if what happens last year happens again, which hopefully it doesn't. But anyway, thank you guys for sitting here and for listening to me ramble and talk in your ear for a while. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate all the love. I cannot believe how fast we're growing. This is absolutely insane to me. And I know the episodes seem a little thrown together, a little short right now. They will get longer as my health gets stronger. It's a lot for me to be speaking and repeating things and reading the notes and setting everything up and making sure everybody's quiet that lives in this house, and so it takes a lot. It takes a village to record a podcast episode. But anyway, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I know I've said thank you like 80 times, but I genuinely do want to thank you guys, because without your support, I wouldn't be able to run this brand, and a bunch of people would not be able to create the content that we feel passionate about. So thank you for helping me and my amazing team. They're so incredible. Shout out to them. I should have shouted them out in the beginning, but shout out to my amazing team. You are all so amazing and kick-ass and badass and sexy and smart and amazing. Anyway, I love you all, and I will see you in the penalty box. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Thanks for tuning into the Penalty Box podcast. Don't forget to connect with us on social media by searching for the Penalty Box. Also, make sure you hit that follow button on Spotify. And if you enjoyed the show, leave us a 5-star review. Until next time, see you in the Penalty Box.